Hope Strange New Worlds is Star Trek's last prequel. For nearly 6 decades, Star Trek has boldly gone where few franchises have gone before. Across centuries of fictional history, countless star systems, and philosophical ideas about humanity's future. Yet in recent years, the franchise has developed a noticeable habit, looking backward. With shows set before the adventures of James T. Kirk and the era of Star Trek, the original series, the timeline has increasingly filled with stories that explain what happened before the classic voyages of the USS Enterprise. While prequels can be fascinating, I'm hoping Star Trek Strange New Worlds ends up being the last one for a long time. Prequels are fun, but they limit storytelling. To be fair, Strange New Worlds is one of the best Star Trek series in years. Anchored by the charismatic performance of Anson Mount as Christopher Pike, the show embraces classic episodic adventures while balancing character drama and optimism. It captures the spirit that made Star Trek beloved in the first place. But even a great prequel has limitations. When a story takes place before well-established canon, the audience already knows where many of the characters will end up. We know Pike's tragic fate from the 2-part episode, The Menagerie, in the original series. We know that Kirk will eventually command the Enterprise. We know the Federation will survive. The broad strokes are locked in place. That doesn't mean compelling stories can't be told. Strange New Worlds proves they can. However, the narrative tension is inherently different when the future has already been written decades earlier. Star Trek's timeline is already rich with history. The Star Trek universe has always been filled with backstory. Even before modern prequels existed, the franchise hinted at earlier eras of exploration, conflicts, and discoveries. But historically, most Star Trek series pushed the timeline forward rather than backward. Star Trek: The Next Generation took place nearly a century after Kirk's adventures. Star Trek: Deep Space Nine and Star Trek: Voyager expanded the universe even further. Each show introduced new political realities, species, and technological developments. Those series worked because the future of the galaxy felt uncertain. The Dominion War, the Borg threat, and the political tensions within the Federation all unfolded in ways audiences couldn't predict. By contrast, prequels often feel like puzzle pieces filling in gaps rather than opening entirely new chapters. Modern Star Trek has spent too much time looking back. The trend toward prequels really accelerated in the streaming era. Star Trek Discovery initially launched as a prequel set roughly a decade before Kirk's 5-year mission. Then Strange New Worlds spun off from it, focusing on Pike's Enterprise crew. Even earlier, Star Trek Enterprise explored humanity's first deep space voyages in the 22nd century. That series had an exciting premise, but also struggled with the same challenge. Audiences already knew the Federation would eventually form. Individually, each of these shows offers interesting perspectives on the past. But taken together, they create a pattern where Star Trek repeatedly circles back to familiar territory instead of charting unexplored eras. And that feels a little ironic for a franchise built around exploration. The future of Star Trek should actually be the future. The most exciting Star Trek stories often